Good morning and welcome to Climate Matters, the monthly sustainability show brought to you by the City of Santa Fe. I'm your host, Neal Denton, and I'm joined this morning by Mayor Alan Weber. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Neal. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
I am feeling very sustainable. Thank you for asking.
Good. It's a good way to be, feeling sustainable. We all want to live long and prosper, right?
Yes, and help others live long and prosper by the way we take care of our community, our environment, and in particular, I think we're going to talk about water, aren't we?
That's right. For this monthly show, we are talking about water and, in particular, the saving of it. Upcoming on April 1st, the city is starting the Wyland National Mayor's Water Challenge. You want to tell us a little bit about this challenge, Mr. Mayor?
I will. This is one of those things that as mayor I get to enjoy. I remember last year kicking it off and actually going through the process of making my pledge. Essentially, it's a friendly competition among all cities all over the country to see who can be the most careful in how we use water, who can be the most frugal and water wise as we conserve water. And Santa Fe, of course, this is hardwired into our way of life. This is who we live, who we are, how we live. We've been this way from the get-go. But this is a chance to step up our game one more notch and show the rest of the country that Santa Fe is the most water conserving city in America. I think, Neal, last year we were ranked number 4 in the country.
Yes, we got 4th place last year.
So our goal is to move up to number 1. Let's go for the gold. And there are prizes, right? It's good for our soul. It's good for our city. There are also prizes as part of this competition.
Yeah, I think we can make it to number 1 this year, and that's ranked by how many people go to mywaterpledge.com in the month of April and just click through some pretty easy to do pledges where you commit to do things you might already be doing or you might not already be doing, such as taking shorter showers, getting a low flow shower fixture, and things like that. And in Santa Fe, we're really a culture that values water. Where we are in the desert Southwest, it goes a long way back. It's really in our roots. And so this is a good opportunity for us to show the world that we value it more than all the other cities.
Yep, a little bit of local pride, and as I mentioned, people can win prizes. There's a $3,000 prize toward your annual utility bills, water saving fixtures, other prizes. There's a big community prize for the city that comes in number 1. But you're right. Basically, what we want to do is demonstrate that we know how to do the right thing. And I remember last year going onto the website, clicking through the pledges that you make. A lot of them are things that we do anyway. And if you don't have, for example, the little timer in your shower that the city makes available, the little hourglass that tells you how long you're in the shower, the city gives those away. We make that available free of charge as a way of promoting conservation. So this would be a good time to check your water use and then go to mywaterpledge.com and indicate that the city of Santa Fe is the leader in the country when it comes to sustainability. And one other thing, Neal, is that we've been working on this in the last few months. We've had a spurt of activity around energy, water conservation, better utilization of our other resources, Tree Smart Santa Fe to make our tree canopy look better. We're going to be a bee city, so we take care of pollinators. And then there's the Public Works project that is ongoing right now to deal with street lights that are more energy efficient and protect the night skies, as well as putting solar on our city buildings. So there's a whole range of sustainable activities that Santa Fe can take a great deal of community pride about.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and it's a good time to be a sustainability planner for the city with all this activity right now. And in addition to putting solar on our facilities, we're going to be upgrading a lot of water fixtures and, reducing water usage in our facilities as well. And of course, when we save water that way, we're also saving energy because of the energy it takes to make the water. And the same goes the other way. When you turn off the lights or save energy, you're saving water.
So Neal, when you go, you have one of the coolest jobs in the city. When you go out and talk to people in neighborhoods and communities, when they ask, what can we do to be better at conserving energy, water, be a sustainable city? What are your top tips that you give folks?
Yeah, one of the most important things that people can do to save water is to figure out if they have a leak. So many households have leaks that, you might think you hear the toilet running or something like that, but a leak could be so small you don't know about it. And fortunately, for many years now, the city has been offering an app called the Ion Water app, where you can use our automated reading of your meter, which reads at 15-minute increments, to get hourly readings on your household water use. And you can be alerted if something unusual is happening. So if you're at work and there's a leak at home, you can get an alert on your text message and run home and figure out what's going on there. So that's just kind of like a baseline, something really important to start with. Make sure you have no leaks in your household for saving water. And second to that, outdoor water use is one of the biggest users of water. So any opportunity to capture rainwater and utilize that for your landscaping, for the watering of your garden, goes a long way. Then once you've checked those two off, there are some pretty important things to do within your household, starting with appliances. The city offers a lot of rebates to upgrade appliances, and we're going to be getting into that in depth here a little bit more when I'm joined by our next guest, the water conservation specialist for the city, Andrew Erdmann. All the different rebates the city offers for you to upgrade your appliances. But those, things like washing machines, the old ones are way less efficient. And also depending on the model you get. So that's a good place to look for water waste in your house.
And we have an audit that we offer folks, don't we, Neal, where you could get somebody to come give you a hand. If you don't know where to look, the city has a free audit capability where if you're really serious about a systems check of your own water use, the city wants you to be more frugal. I know in our family, we did a water audit, and it found some of the very things you're just right now talking about. We had some leaky situations. We didn't even know about it. It was just running up our water usage a few drips at a time, but it all adds up. And some of our appliances were old and not very up to standard. They weren't as good as the technology has gotten. Those are all ways you can make small incremental gains that when you add them up, they make a big difference in water use across the city.
That's right. I'm glad you're able to make some upgrades in your home. And, some people might think some of these high efficiency appliances don't work as well as the counterparts. And there might have been a time that it was like that, but they've come a long way, and you really won't see a difference in, whether it's the way your clothes come out of the washing machine or your dishes come out of the dishwasher. But you will see a difference on your water bill. So
exactly,
saving water means saving money.
Yep, and it keeps our community's future very much intact. We don't want to waste water now and then in the future suddenly hit the wall. We are in a drought period. Let's be honest. We're not out of into a good place. We're dealing with a long-term drought problem, and mywaterpledge.com is a way to address it. You can take that pledge and demonstrate that you care about water usage and put Santa Fe in the #1 spot when it comes to the Wyland National Mayor's Challenge for Water Conservation. We want to be in #1. We were number 4 last year. We can get to #1. It's just, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, use a Zoom call to get everybody to do it together. Let's make it a project for the city of Santa Fe to finish first in conserving water. As we come out of COVID time, we'll go into water conservation time, big time.
Yeah, that's right. It makes us a more resilient place as we go through this drought. It's really important that we collectively value our water for the, as the most valuable resource that it is. Thank you for your leadership on this, Mr. Mayor. I know you're a busy man, and I'm sure you have to go, but yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thanks for challenging us.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for what you do for the city. You have, as I said, you've got one of the more important and exciting jobs in the city of Santa Fe, trying to keep our future resilient and sustainable. So we're grateful to you. Let's hear that website one more time before I sign off. Yeah, mywaterpledge.com. mywaterpledge.com. And when do we start taking that pledge, Neal? When does the window of opportunity open?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because this is a preview. Don't go to that website just yet. Try to do so in the month of April, which is Earth Month. So we're lining it up for that whole month. All the pledges in that month will be tallied up for this competition to see how we compare to other cities our size. So yeah, mywaterpledge.com. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. It's a pleasure being the sustainability planner for this city. So
it's good to see you. Take care. Have a good weekend. Have a good week ahead, and then I'll see you in the future.
All right. Take care.
Bye for now.
All right. Our next guest is Andrew Erdmann, Water Conservation Specialist for the city of Santa Fe. Good morning, Andrew. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Neal. How are you?
Doing all right. Doing all right. So we were just talking with the mayor about some ways to save water in Santa Fe, and one of those that we were talking about is leaks. And I've seen some statistics that the average household wastes 10,000 gallons a year in water leaks, which is just way too much. That's just to put that in perspective. That amount equals the annual water use in Los Angeles, Chicago, and Miami combined.
Just before we make everybody too nervous too, right? That's a national number. That's not just here in Santa Fe. I would be surprised if we were losing that much at our average house, but.
Right, that is a national number, indeed. But we do have a lot of leaks, whether you know it or not. It's something I was talking about earlier. You might think you would hear your toilet running or hear the water dripping if you have a leak, but that might not be the case. It could be, could be in your pipes. It could be happening in your toilet and without it making a sound. So we're talking about the Ion Water app with the mayor. You want to tell us a little bit more about that app, Andrew?
Sure. So the Ion Water app, it's available. You can get to it from our website, which is savewatersantafe.com, or I believe you can get to it from the various places one gets apps, right, depending on your equipment that you're using. But what it does is you tie it directly to your own account, and it's essentially there's a cell phone transmitter on the water meter that is giving regular repeat readings. It's I think every 15 minutes, but it actually comes out on the graph in kind of hourly blocks. And so you can look at your water use over time in kind of an hourly increment or a daily increment or a monthly increment, depending on the amount of time that you want to look at. And you can also use it to set alerts. So basically the way that the alerts would work is that it assumes that most places are not running water 24 hours a day. One of the interesting side effects of this has been learning how many places actually do run water 24 hours a day since we've gotten this app. But most residential homes are not running water 24 hours a day. There are whole hours where nobody turns on an appliance, especially in the middle of the night or if everybody's off at school or work. And so if you have water that's running kind of continuously through those, that's pretty likely to be a leak. And a lot of the leaks that we learn about that are kind of undiscovered are leaks where the water is going straight back down the drain. So things like a toilet that's leaking and the water is just sort of running back down the drain. So there's not a big wet spot out in the yard. It's not damaging the foundation. Your wall's not getting wet. So it doesn't have the same reason to notice it that you might before. But yeah, that's one of the great things the app can do. But actually, there's some other stuff that people have been using it for too, right? It's like any tool, once you get it, you start realizing you could use it for a whole bunch of things and not just the one reason you bought it. So that Ion Water app too, it's a nice tool to look at your usage. So for me, for example, and for lots of people like me, I don't have like a sprinkler system in the yard, but I can run a hose and kind of move it around, but I can check to make sure that I'm where I was relative to previous years and that I'm using a comparable amount by looking at the app, which has been really helpful. It also has the alerts. Sorry, I'm going on and on, Neal. I'm maybe boring you about this app.
No, it's all right. Good to know more. I did have just one. If someone doesn't use tablet or a smartphone where they can download apps, they can use Ion Water just on the internet, right?
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I do for mine, right? I just use it on my laptop and go to the website, and I've got an account signed up, so it recognizes me when I get there. When you go to do your initial account setup, basically, if you sit down with one of your water bills, you'll have the information you need to be able to get signed up and running. So yeah, it's been great. The other thing is, we keep hearing from people about things that they've used the app for. So we've heard of people really using the app to, for example, to like identify a leak. So one water customer told us that basically he'd go around the house and at night, he'd turn off all the water running to one particular toilet. And then in the morning, if he still had the leak, well, that wasn't the problem. So the next night he tried something else. Over a couple of days, he was able to figure out that his leak actually was coming from his clothes washer. So it's been it's neat to have kind of a new tool to work with, and people are finding new ways to use it all the time.
That's great. And you might think, if you have a leak, you'd see it on your water bill, which might be the case. If you get a high water bill, that's the first thing to ask yourself. But it also might not be the case. If it's a real slow leak, you're paying for it in your water bill, but you may not know that you're paying more than you need to be. So let's talk about some other ways to save water at home. I mentioned some of the rebates on SaveWaterSantaFe.com that people can find from the city. Let's see, Andrew, what are some of your favorite rebates?
Yeah, well, so we have a bunch of rebates on Save Water Santa Fe. So kind of the classic rebate, right? And the one that we probably do, but it's by far the most popular, is for toilets. And Santa Fe replaced a whole lot of toilets back in the early 2000s. A lot of people remember the city gave out toilets. We had plumbers who were going around with trucks full of toilets, kind of knocking on doors and replacing them right there on the spot because of a toilet retrofit credit program we had in place at the time. It was a rough summer, but it really gave us a chance to see how much impact there was from replacing toilets, basically. So it's I don't know that I'd say it's my favorite rebate, but it's maybe Santa Fe's favorite rebate. It's the one that gets used the most. So we give rebates. You can get $57 to go to a 1.28 gallon toilet, which at this point is pretty standard. So the higher level would be at a 0.88 gallon per flush, which sort of confusingly is a $128 rebate. So, but those are working great, and you can pay for almost your entire toilet with that up front. And a lot of people have been doing that and getting them installed themselves and working that out. We also have rebates for dual flush, and we have rebates that are used by commercial users for urinals, which are apparently there's a huge range in terms of how much water they use. So that's maybe not my favorite, but the most popular rebate that we've got.
I'm glad you pointed out we have some commercial rebates too. It's not just for homeowners. So the way to do it, if you're thinking about, or even if you're not thinking about upgrading your toilet, or if you're a commercial establishment, your urinals, you make sure the ones you're going to upgrade to are eligible for the rebate first, and you go buy it and you submit your application and receipt to the City Water Conservation Office. This all sound right so far, Andrew?
Yeah, you can submit it through through our website, SaveWaterSantaFe.com. That's almost all of the rebates we get come in through the website. And that's a helpful place too, because it has links to the list. So you have to buy, basically, for example, for the dishwashers, the clothes washers, washing machine, there's sort of two levels of rebate that we offer. One is for Energy Star, and that's a $235. And the second is for what's called a CEE, which I believe stands for Certified Energy Efficient, tier 2 or 3 level, and they get a $285 rebate. But there's lists that you can get to from the website. I'm just going to tell you in advance, the list can be a little bit long. These lists are managed by the federal government. This isn't something that's put together in the Conservation Office, because there's an enormous number of manufacturers of all these things. So I'm mentioning that because sometimes people have told us, gosh, it'd be great if this list was easier to use. And all I can tell you is I feel exactly the same way. But those lists are out there, and you can definitely bring it up on your phone as you're walking the aisles at Lowe's or whatever, looking for your next appliance wherever you go. And then we also do rebates for outdoor irrigation. So that's the other type of rebate that we have.
Right.
So outdoor irrigation is a little bit different, right? Because it's we're not just replacing appliances. Everybody has pretty unique outdoor irrigation needs. It's not the same as a dishwasher where they're all basically the same. So we offer rebates for controllers that can do multiple stations. We do different tiers of rebate depending on how many stations they can do. There's rebates for rain sensors and for catchment systems. So the catchment system piece is one that we're really trying to enhance. Just like the mayor said, right? Or perhaps it was you who said it. But just like was said earlier in the show, anytime you can replace some of your water use with rainwater that you've caught, that's going to save water, and it also reduces the impact of stormwater on infrastructure. That's a fantastic thing. So right now we do 25 cents a gallon for whatever size catchment system you get, and we have a fair amount of uptake on those as well. And that might be my favorite. You asked my favorite rebate. I'm going to say it's the catchment system.
It's not the laundry to landscape one. I'm a big fan of using gray water, and we do have a $175 rebate if you send your laundry water to your landscape.
We sure do. I like that one too, but we don't get very much uptake. It'd be great if it's a little bit harder of a project, and we'll do $175, which probably doesn't cover the whole cost. Again, it really depends on how your laundry's set up. But I got to say, every time one of those rebates comes through and we get like photographs of how people have done their laundry, I'm like out in my laundry room trying to figure out exactly what I could do myself to be able to make that work as well. Because it's a great idea to be trying to reuse that water that's already been treated and delivered all the way to your house.
An added benefit, a lot of people don't realize laundry detergent is really high in phosphorus, which is our primary fertilizer. So your plants will grow really well too.
I've heard it's fantastic for roses in particular. So at least there's at least one just incredible rose garden with very vivid colored roses that the owner attributes the quality of to the phosphorus and the
That's really interesting. So, wow, didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know. So we have all that stuff up on our Save Water Santa Fe website. That's really the place to go to get information about it. And to be honest, if someone goes on the website and feels like we should be offering rebates for something that we're not, it would be great to hear from you. We're really interested in conserving water and trying to find ways to make that work. So there's contact information on the website, and we're a small office and we're really available. So we're interested in what people are doing with their houses and how we can find really success stories to use as models for other people to try and replicate, and how we can expand our program to make sure that we're using water really efficiently.
Yeah, I'm really glad we have all these programs here people can take advantage of, because in addition to making us more resilient here in the desert Southwest, everyone's looking for a way to save money on household expenses right now. So if you're not saving money with these programs, you're missing out. You're wasting money. So and something really important to point out, I don't think we actually hit on it when I was talking to the mayor. You can win $3,000 towards your home energy bills by going to mywaterpledge.com and taking the pledge. So basically, you won't be paying your water bill for a while with that kind of payment. And so that's you take a series of pledges to save water at home. Please follow through on them as well. And you'll get a number. I took the pledge today, showed that I saved 62,000 gallons of water with my choices here. So you'll get some data. That's exciting for you. So in the month of April 1st through April 30th, please go to mywaterpledge.com. Help Santa Fe get to first place. So that's it for our show this morning. Andrew, thanks so much for being my guest today. This has been Climate Matters, monthly sustainability radio show brought to you by the city of Santa Fe. Hope you have a good one, Andrew.
All right. Thanks, Neal.
All right. Take care.